There are many games in Dueling Nexus. Let's try them out. The naming game. Name as many Yu-Gi-Oh card names as you can in 3 minutes. Pot of Greed. Graceful Charity. Left arm of the Forbidden One. Right arm of the Forbidden One. Painful Choice. Cross Sheet. Cyber Angel Ben 10. Cyber Angel Izana. Megalith Bethor. Megalith Hagish. Megalith Ophiel. Megalith. Well, I need shorter names to write. Incantation Pensive Plume. Ruin. Supreme. Queen of Oblivion. Demise. Supreme King of Armageddon. How do you spell Armageddon? I hope this is correct. Ah, shit, it's not. Let's just ignore that. Alright, come on. Triple Tactics. Thrust. Triple Tactics. Talent. Pot of Duality. Pot of Desires. Fuck, I'm running out of names. Oh, the Harpy Ladies. Harpy Lady. Oh my god, I can't believe this counts. Uh, I got 4 wrong. Mind showing me everything I wrote down in the end? Alright, what's the other one? Art game. Welcome to the art game. Your goal is to guess as many card names as possible on their card based on their card art. Oh god, they're loading. Shit, I don't know. I already lose. Alright, let's just end it right there. Alright. Let's look at the deck profile again. Here we have the final version. I tried coming up with all sorts of other ways. Ultimately, rather than running Megalith, I could ultimately probably be better if I went Cyber Angel, Ruin, and Heralds instead of Time Lords, Megaliths, and Incantations and stuff. But I'm so invested in the Megaliths. I could try Heralds again at some point. But right now, I'm sticking to my guns. I I have sunk too much into this deck. I can't back out now. Perhaps it's pride. Alright, I'm confident enough with my combo lines that I should be able to play in rank without needing to be too slow for people to be too annoying with. So let's play a few games. I said I would be using YGO Omega, but uh, I kinda like the gameplay in Dueling Nexus a little more. Yeah, the UI there is objectively better. The Master Duel still technically has it beat in terms of UI, but I like how quickly you're allowed to do things in Dueling Nexus, even if it is a little hard to read the card text. And that is the most important thing. If if your card text is easy to read, your UI is good for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's that simple. Well, or for any card game, period. It should be like that. No one wants to match with me. Maybe I will just go to Omega. There aren't a lot of people in Nexus in the end. Let's try America.
Ladies and gentlemen, a little while back on this channel, I casted an absolutely wild tournament finale match where we saw one of the absolute greatest players of all time, Voice of Akasha, going up against someone named Rip. And in this matchup, no one really thought that Voice of Akasha would lose because Voice of Akasha never loses. He's like one of those players that just wins everything. And yet, Rip came into this finale and he beat him, which immediately placed him on the map. Now, some people, I saw some comments saying, he just got a little lucky, Voice of Akasha just made a little misplay, it was a very volatile matchup. Doesn't necessarily mean Rip is like the greatest of all time. However, ever since that match, Rip has been rising through the ranks rapidly, and he has now become the first player in Advanced Wars history to reach 1800 MMR on Advanced Wars by web. I don't think I can overstate what a massive accomplishment this is. I don't think it would happen, honestly, because in order to reach this crazy level of MMR, you have to take consistent wins against some of the top players on the site. And furthermore,
maybe it's not working right now. Let me try fighting against an AI.
And the number 2 and number 3 and number 4 on the site, only Inkugar really comes close to his level of rating. Whenever you win a match, you get like 40 rating points. And if you lose a match, you lose like 40. It's absolutely crazy. So you have to maintain a consistent win streak against some of the best players on the site, and that is what Rip has been doing for the past few months. I went through his match history, it's just W's as far as the eye can see. This guy, he does not lose. He has an absolutely insane level now, where he just seems to win every single game that he plays. And I am actually convinced right now that Rip is the best player in the world. I don't really think anyone else can challenge him at the moment. He's going to become the Magnus Carlsen of the Advanced Wars by web community. And to celebrate this insane milestone, I figured that we would take a look at one of his games. I just kind of followed a bunch of his matches, and I saw this one, and it looked really cool. So, you know what? Let's take a look at how an 1800 MMR Advanced Wars player plays. So he's up against someone. I've never heard of this guy. His name is Grand. I think that's a Lord of the Rings reference. Now, the funny thing, You know, when you look at a 1482 rated player, like, that's normally an absolute monster, right? You get matched up against someone like this, you know you're in for a hell of a fight. And yet, compared to Rip, he looks so small. It's like 482, Rip is 1800. So it's absolutely amazing to see a 1482 look small by comparison. But still, I mean, don't be fooled, this is still an incredibly strong player. So, I figured we'd take a look at this map right here. It is called Butterfly Net. It's in the Fog ladder. This is not a live game. This is a standard match. I don't think Rip plays that much live. I think he's mostly playing Fog. I saw him play a little bit of High Fronts as well, so he's clearly branching out a little bit. But Fog is where he seems to be the most comfortable. It was a High Fronts match where you defeated Voice of Akasha, so he clearly knows how to play that format. But yeah, this is a very complicated map. Lots of pipes here, which makes reinforcement hard. You have like these pipes right here, or these seams, which you can blast through to get a bit of a easier reinforcement path. But it's one of those maps where it's just kind of hard to reinforce immediately, because this base has to go through here, this base has to go through a forest, and then down here, then this base has to go all the way back here, and possibly through yet another forest. So it is one of those maps that is just hard to reinforce. And as a result, it requires you to think multiple turns ahead. You can't just react to what the opponent is doing, you have to predict what they're doing. You know, if you see a battlecopter and you build an anti-air in response to that battlecopter, this anti-air has to move all the way through all these tiles to get through the center, which means that you can't just react to what your opponent is doing, you have to predict what your opponent is going to do. You can't just build the anti-air to have it ready by the time the battlecopter or bomber shows up. So, and it's an interesting matchup right here, Kindle versus Andy. Kindle recently got a little bit of a buff, so she's considered, I mean, she's still tier 3 in Fog, but she's now considered tier 2 in Standard, because her superpower got buffed, which you don't normally see her superpower a lot, but it actually got some pretty insane potential when it is popped. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say we just jump into this match, and let us see how Rip plays this game, shall we? Let us begin. So we got Rip in the black trunks over in the top right here, Andy in the red trunks down in the bottom left. Let us see what happens here. So Rip opens up 2 infantry, obviously. First thing you want to do is you want to grab this base as soon as possible. That is what both players are doing right here. I'm just going to call it Grand instead of Grand. Grand is easier to say in a casting format. So both players just here capturing their early airports, their early bases. Nothing insane here. A recon. So he's going to try to apply a little bit of early pressure, scout Rip out. Rip opens up a transport. I love to see this, man. 1800 MMR player opening up APC in Fog. You love to see it. Transports are not utilized that much, but the fact that Rip is using them, I think shows us something. Now, of course, it could be that Rip saw his opponent was 1400, and maybe he felt confident that he would beat him, so he went a slightly riskier opening. But let me tell you, going APC first is not something we see often these days, and it makes me very happy. And then he goes recon, so he doesn't even go a tank. He goes APC recon, which is a pretty risky opener. It definitely, like, if his opponent is going double tank, that can be punished pretty heavily. Even a player such as Swift might actually be caught unaware with this. So he moves out his recon, and you will see him use that APC to absolute perfection right now, opening up a tank and 2 infantry as well. So you can see that, I'm going to lower the movement value just a little bit. You can see that Grand is moving out with his recon. He's seeing that Rip has reached this area. He's moving out with his tank. Once again, you can see this forest makes reinforcement paths very difficult. Day 7 rolls in. Rip is moving out with his recon and his APC once again, gaining him that early capture advantage, and is bringing his recon with the APC so that he can see everything in the area. There are 2 tanks coming his way though, and he has built his tank over here on the south side. So Rip is kind of vulnerable in this area. So I'm expecting him to build a tank here or here this turn. He goes for an artillery. I mean, the balls of this guy, right? I mean, this is a risky opener that Rip is doing right here. APC, recon tank, artillery. Like, if he goes up against a player who just spams tanks, this could be punished incredibly hard. But again, you do see this sometimes with the top level players. They're just very confident in their play, and they're willing to go more risky openers. This is akin to, if anyone you play StarCraft, this is akin to someone doing like a three-base opener. Like just 3 hatcheries immediately, or like 3 nexuses or 3 command
My
centers.
ruin.
You have no idea if your opponent's going to 6-pull you, right? So it's
Is
very
this Zodiac? It's
here,
fucking
Rip
Zodiac.
deciding to go for the interrupt. There is a tank in range, so if he's not careful, he might lose this recon. Of course, he's up against Andy. And Andy probably... So I think one of the reasons why Rip feels confident doing this is because he knows that his opponent has no comp towers, he has no firepower bonuses because he's Andy. So it's not that big of a deal if a tank comes out and strike his recon, he'll be able to retreat that recon away. But just to be safe, he places his APC in the woods to guard his recon. So you can see Rip is using this APC not only as, and you'll see this throughout the whole fight, Rip is not only using this transport to give himself a capture advantage, he's also using it as a shield in very clever ways. So maybe more pro players should open up transports. I mean, Djus has been advocating for transports for a while now. So Gron comes in and, interestingly enough, goes for the infantry instead of the recon. I'm guessing the mentality here is, if he damages the recon is just going to pull back and repair. If he damages the infantry is not going to be able to capture. So Gron going for economic damage here, rather than going for the recon, which he won't be able to kill anyways. I think that's probably a good move. Day 9 rolls in. Rip continues going for the captures. He now goes for the comm tower, which is very important. Comm towers now boost high society superpower. I don't know if it used to do that. I think it does that now with the newest update.
Portal is supposed to protect me from battle.
From her comm
so how come Photon Tracker can
previously? Builds on Empire, again, pro
just
players
instantly wreck
he just taught me this. Like, on day 9 is probably where you should build your Empire on most maps, because that means that you can see that Ron has already deployed his so if Spotacopter reaches the middle, so will the Empire, so it'll be ready to ward away. Of course, he needs to make sure he sends it to the correct path. If the Spotacopter goes here, and he sends the Empire down here, for example, that's really bad. Gron scores first blood against Rip, taking out a 2 HP infantry here, no big deal. Has 2 tanks here, backed up by a battlecopter. Builds a recon Empire and artillery, so Gron's also building some artillery here, which is good to see. Rip here, taking out, he had the comm tower, and actually he does. I think that might have been a luck roll. Let me double check that. I think Kindle Recon on City with 1 comm tower is a chance to one-shot, yeah. 94 to 102. So you need a little bit of a high roll. It's like a 30-40% chance to one-shot. So almost, but Rick decided to take the gamble. Didn't quite work out. Oh well, it's fine. But he sees 2 tanks now. So he needs to be careful here. And as you can see, isn't quite able to cover the recon with his artillery, but look at that. Continuing to use the APC as a shield. Again, Rip uses this APC beautifully in this matchup. And it really makes me think maybe transport openers are a lot more viable than they have been for the past few years, because, again, transport usage is not very high in the pro scene right now. In most of the games that I watch, you almost never see transports. It's very sad. But Gron decides to use this battlecopter to take out Rip's recon, and then he places... But look at that. Perfectly baited right now. Rip knew, probably, that Gron was going to put a tank on the city after killing the recon. And he successfully executes the artillery trap to perfection right here. So, playing mind games with his opponents, he knows that pro players like to, it's what Djus calls the rule of 3. You kill the unit on the city with 2 units, you place the 3rd unit on the city, so the opponent can get it. But of course, Rip knew that and had an artillery rating. Absolutely masterful play by Rip. So day 11 rolls in. Rip has a slight income lead over his opponent, nothing super consequential though, but he shoots with his artillery, takes out the tank, and boom, look at that. Kindle boosted city. And the Empire is coming in to ward away the bunker. So really well played by Rip here. He lures his opponent into a trap, continues to use the APC, to shield his Unplayer in case there's like a tank here. He puts the APC here just to ward it away. And here he's playing mostly defensive. He knows that his opponent might have a lot of infantry here, so he's playing it carefully. Day 11 rolls in. And Grond decides to pull back, as he should. He knows he can't really fight this. Day 12 rolls in. Now it's getting a little bit more heated. We're entering into the mid-game. Rip sends his recon in to scout, see what he can see. And he's playing very carefully. Look at this artillery positioning right now. It is absolutely rock solid. Builds a battlecopter, artillery, and tank. And right now, playing defense. He's just seeing where his opponent attacks. Rip is taking a good engagement against his opponent. He knows that. He knows he's slightly ahead now. No need to rush, no need to overextend. He's about one tank over his opponent. If we check out kill to death ratio, we can see, oh, we don't want to do that. Sorry about that. I forgot that shows the kill death ratio of the entire match. I think you guys pretty much know how this match is going to go, so maybe it's not that big of a spoiler. So, yeah, by the way, Advanced Rush by Web. Really cool if you fix that, by the way. When you're watching a replay, show the KD for the day that you're viewing. Don't show the whole thing. Like, come on. You've done so many other great things with the site. Update this place so I can look at KD, like, during the match. Alright. Anyway, Recon comes in from Rip here. Wow, look at that. Empire versus Recon on Road. On City. Boom. One shot.
Fuck, I ran out of time.
Pretty crazy. Is that a... I have to check this. I think it's a luck roll. Oh, the Recon have taken chip damage prior in an infantry. That's why. Because I was like 90 to 99. That didn't seem like that. Something seemed off to me when I look at that one shot. Like, that shouldn't happen. That should be like a 1 HP. But of course, the Recon is damaged. It's like on 93 or 94 HP. It just doesn't show yet. I personally think that a unit should show 9 HP the moment it takes some chip damage.
3 minutes is not a lot of time. It really hurts combo decks.
Anyway, things are heating up right now. You can see Rip is tanking up to a Neo Tank. Very good to do that against Andy. You need a firepower. You need to be able to
Alright,
one-shot
I guess I'm playing in
Otherwise,
YGO
they're just gonna
Omega.
come back and